What's up, everybody?
Welcome back to the channel. We hope you are all doing well today. Here it's raining a little bit, so you might hear like the rain or the thunder in the background, FYI. So while it was a nice rainy day, we decided just to get on here and answer some questions that we get asked mostly about being plant-based or like eating vegan. So let's get into it.
All right, so people always ask us all the time, why did you become plant-based, right? What led you to that course of action? So
So it was something I have been wanting to do for years, probably like 5 or 6 years. I have been talking about really like going plant-based. I didn't really know it was like a plant-based versus like vegan or vegetarian. I just knew like I didn't want to eat meat anymore, and I wasn't a big fan of dairy either. But I've kind of always been like that. I remember like being younger and when my mom would make spaghetti, I never liked the meat in my spaghetti. So I used to always have her like separate the meat, and I would just do like the noodles and sauce, or like if I would do like a chicken pot pie, I would always take the chicken out. I've just never been like a big fan of eating meat anyway, and or dairy. So once I watched a couple of documentaries, I realized like why I definitely need to not eat it. So I got my family on board.
yeah, and for me, it was health reasons. You know, my health was not the best. I got diagnosed with hypertension, stage 2 chronic kidney disease. You know, stuff that I shouldn't have, and I was just maybe 30. I wasn't even 30 yet.
Yeah,
I was like
you were even 30.
28 maybe. So it was stuff that I shouldn't be dealing with. So I said, man, there's something in my life that I need to change. And my wife kept saying, we just need to go vegan. We need to go vegan. And I was like, all right, well, once I went to Poland, I started going vegan and plant-based and taking stuff out, you know, month by month. And it worked. So that's
Yeah,
why.
I think that was the perfect thing for you to go vegan. Well, plant-based vegan, because like that was kind of like my thing to get him to do it. Because at first he was like, I don't know, he liked cheese and sour cream and things of that sort. And I'm like, yeah, but you know, it makes you really gassy, and it can't be good for you if you're like that gassy all the time. And he's like, well, I mean, you know, you grow up eating those things, so it's hard to give those things up. So that was perfect that he had that scare. Well, it wasn't good that you had a scare, but in a way it was.
It was like it's purposeful. Like the universe told me,
Yes.
like you got to get better. You know. What I mean?
Definitely.
And I think a lot of people always ask me, "Oh, your wife is she's vegan, but are you?" I'm like, yeah, I am. I mean, we support each other in what we do, and if it's going to be beneficial to both of us and our family, we go all out. We knock it out. We do it. So
Definitely.
yeah.
That's one of the things I would definitely say that I'm so proud of. I'm so glad and proud that, you know, my family was on board with me when, you know, we decided to make the big change. It may have taken everybody a little bit longer to get there than some, but I mean, the fact that everybody was like on board and willing to do it together, it makes it that much easier. So if you have somebody who's thinking about it, be a good support system and at least try it out with them for like, even if it's a meal or two, or like when you guys hang out together. It's just so important if you have help of other people with you. I
Yeah,
think.
facts. You got to support each other, keep each other accountable, and encourage each other through the process. But
Definitely.
yeah, that's why we went vegan.
Long answer.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about this in the first question, but we kind of went plant-based at different times. So my wife was the first one to go plant-based. I went later, but I'll let you tell when you went plant-based.
So I would say I probably did it about 3 years ago. I really started trying to cut things out, like trying not to eat chicken as much, or I really kind of like transitioned. Like at first, I didn't do like beef and pork for like a full year. And then once I got that down for a full year, then I started hitting like the chicken and the seafood. And then that was good for like a full year. And then I would say, you know, the dairy. Dairy was easy though. I would say dairy I probably kind of got rid of with a lot of like beef and pork. So I would say about 3 years ago. What about you?
Got you. I just started going plant-based about 2 years ago. like I said, I went over to Poland, and the way they fed us over there was weird. So it was kind of like, it was another extra incentive to like, start separating some stuff.
Yeah.
So I started with pork, took out beef, and then like a month later, I started taking out chicken. So that was a process of about another 2 months. Then I went pescatarian for a while, and I was just eating seafood. Another month, and then I took that out. And dairy was my most difficult, because I'm used to eating cheese, and you wouldn't realize like milk is in a lot of things. I think America, we prop up the dairy industry by allowing them to put milk in everything, and it doesn't need to be in everything, but it's in everything, especially everything that's processed. So that was difficult, but took some time, got back to the States and separated it completely. So yeah, I've been plant-based like legit for probably like 18 months to 2 years. So work out.
People always ask like, what do we eat? And yes, we can eat potatoes, we can eat rice still, we still can eat noodles. Like, people get so surprised when we say like, oh, we'll eat like noodles and asparagus or noodles and broccoli with like, different vegetables and things of that sort. But as long as it's like not from an animal, you can eat it. So if it doesn't have any like dairy or, any type of animal or animal product. And then also be careful when you're reading your labels. A lot of times they try to trick you. So make sure it doesn't have like, what is the thing, Dr.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff that are animal byproducts, and you won't see any dairy or meat on the labels as ingredients, but if it says like natural flavors or something, you just never know what that means. Like they hide stuff in those ingredient labels when they say natural flavors. What natural flavor? You know what I mean? So I think too, that's a big thing that helped us going vegan is we read labels now, and it's so important to actually read them, because we are putting stuff in our bodies that we have no idea what it is. Combination of chemicals. And I mean, a good example, for years, Subway was putting like a chemical in their bread.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it was to bleach it or something, but no other country in the world allowed that except the US.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why does the US allow it? And then like a couple years ago, they said, the US FDA said, all right, well, you got to take it out. So Subway took it out. And I'm like, for years they gave us this chemical. So you just never know, pay attention to it.
And then they market it as like healthy, like Subway is supposed to be so healthy, but then they have like all this processed meat. Like, how is that healthy?
Yeah.
That's so disgusting. Like, I've never been a fan of processed meat, even before I ate this way. I never was like a pepperoni person or like lunch meat or like any of that. It's just disgusting. Like, it's so disgusting. So like, I don't know how they even market Subway as like a healthy or eat fresh or whatever, but yeah.
But we actually do eat fresh, so we do everything minus, like she said, byproducts of animals and animals, right? So any type of vegetable, any type of fruit, any type of like starches. I mean, anything that the Mother Earth makes, it comes out of the ground, we consume. We stay away from honey because that's a byproduct of an animal, right?
So
we do agave. But I mean, we do anything like that. And you can be creative and make all types of dishes minus the meat.
Definitely.
I mean, you just can. I know people think that you can't, and then there are replacements if you want the appearance of something to be like it is. So they do have vegan cheese. Of course, it's not cheese, but I mean, it has the same type of textures and all that. I mean, it's all types of things.
Like Beyond Meat.
Yeah, and we kind of stay away from the Beyond things like Beyond Meat or the meatless chicken and stuff like that. Now, I feel like the last couple of months, she had been telling me for a while like to stay away from it, but that was my substitute. But it's just so heavily processed and it's not good for you. So I mean, we eat everything that is good for you and try to eat nothing that's bad for you. So if you want to check out the things that we do eat, we make videos, we shoot what we eat, and and kind of the meals that we prepare. So go check out our earlier videos, and we have all types of different meals we prepare, from plant-based tacos to garlic noodle vermicelli, all types of stuff. So just check it out.
We are gonna do more food videos.
Yeah,
like those
for
are
sure.
definitely to come.
Yep. So
So you
check
guys
those
can
out.
kind of like get a feel of what you eat that's still good and still on a budget or whatever. So
And get some ideas, you know what I mean? Check out Pinterest. It's a good idea to check out Pinterest for some meal ideas.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, like, almost every time I sit down with people and talk, they're like, well, was it hard to, like, not eat meat? Is it hard to not eat meat? Is it hard to whatever? For me, it's absolutely not hard because, like I said, I've never really been a big meat eater or a big, like, dairy person. Like, I've never really liked milk. It just is disgusting to me. I don't even like too much of the plant-based milk. I don't know. I'm just not a big milk drinker.
And
But
she didn't like cereal and like
Yeah,
that. She
like-
wouldn't eat like cold cereal.
yeah, so I've never really been a big meat or dairy person. So to me, it was fairly easy, like, honestly. But
So let me hold it down for the people that actually did. So I'm telling you, like, I grew up, I mean, that was, everything was revolved around some type of meat, and dairy was incorporated in almost anything from mashed potatoes to cakes and whatever, right? So for me, it was, I had to change my habits, and that's a difficult thing to do. Like, I mean, you have to pay attention to what you eat, prepare and plan. To be honest, it was difficult for me, but it allowed me to foster a environment of discipline. Like, I was able to be disciplined and figure out, all right, what am I eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What can I not eat? What is accessible to me? Especially when I was over in Poland, because I couldn't just go grab something. I had to prepare and plan it. So it allowed me to come back and be able to have more discipline in it. So going and making a grocery list, stuff we talk about on earlier videos, so you can save money. So that's things, the discipline of it, it really helped. But you know what I mean?
And I think it brings awareness too to like what you're eating, because
Yeah.
like a lot of times, I'm not being funny, but when you're eating meat, you don't know what you're eating. Like, I was watching a video on YouTube, and the gentleman was like, I guess somebody offered somebody like $900 to cremate their relative, and they were like, you don't know, if you're at a barbecue, you might be eating your auntie so-and-so.
Ah.
And as gross as that sounds, like, you never know what you are eating, because anything could be disguised as meat. But if it's an apple, it's an apple.
Yeah.
Like, it's an apple.
It might be a GMO, but it's an apple. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. And like any type of fruit or like vegetable, like what it is what it is. There's no questions about it. It's no, they could have maybe grilled it or put some seasoning on it. It tastes weird. Like, people always joke about Chinese food.
I was about to say, that's
Is
a
it
common
really
thing.
dog or
Like,
cat?
they feed you cat or whatever. Like, I mean,
You
that's
don't
not
have to worry.
I'm telling you, like, that's no disrespect to like Chinese restaurants or anything like that. Any type of Asian
Yeah.
restaurant. That's just something that's a stereotype in the community. Like, what is it? What is it actually? Why is it ready so fast? Like, how is it? It took 10 minutes for you to make 8 meals. You know what I mean? It's just
Right.
one of those things. But that'll make you pay more attention to like what you eat and how you eat. Right.
And even though we joke about it as people, like, we still eat it. And it's like, why?
Yes.
Don't do it. Step away.
Yeah. So I mean, you can make better things than going out to eat all the time. That's one of the things that did stop us from doing, is eating out a lot.
Yeah.
But to caveat of what you said, a lot of the meats and things, you gotta just do your research. So when they process meats, there's a certain amount of fecal and mucus that's allowed to be still processed with it. So say a cow is on the assembly line when they go to try to process it. They see that the cow has an abscess or something. They poke it, allow it to drain out.
do.
And then they just keep it going. They don't wash or clean it. They just let it go throughout the process. And the FDA allows for that amount of mucus and fecal discharge to be inside your food. Same thing, rodent hair and all types of stuff is allowed. A certain amount is allowed inside food. So when we say don't eat processed and don't eat meat and these things, it's to save your life. A lot of the diseases that affect us as humans start in the animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mad
From
cow
E. coli
disease,
to AIDS to all these other things. It all
Bird
swines,
flu, yeah.
bird flu. So I mean, it comes from animals, you know. So, and it's not saying it's because we mass produce and we try to have all these animals to feed all of the world, and it's ridiculous, and it's killing our environment. So pay attention to that.
Definitely.
All right, so a lot of people ask us, what do you miss? You don't miss any particular foods or anything like that? And to me, it's more of a mental thing. Like, it's nostalgia, right? Like, oh, when it's a quick meal, you didn't plan for something, you just in your mind, like, oh, I'm gonna go get a pizza or something, right? But that's just laziness, and then you can always make a vegan pizza. You know, you can make a plant-based pizza. So, I mean, to me, it's just nostalgia. You know what I mean? I tell people this all the time. If you took a piece of chicken and didn't have any seasoning, wasn't breaded, anything like that, and you literally just made it, would it be good to you?
Gross.
Is that appealing to you? Like, oh, I'm just going to eat a piece of chicken, nothing on it. No, it's the seasoning and the things that you put on it that give it its flavor, right? I think we get used to eating flesh, and that's ridiculous. But even if you do, you don't just like it plain. So you can prepare things and have all types of different things, and without the meat, and still have good flavor and it be flavorful. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. So when I get asked that, like, it's really nothing that I miss with not being, you know, plant-based or vegan than, you know, when I was, because I feel like we found some really great substitutes.
Yeah.
And to me, it tastes a lot better, and I just feel so much better, like, that day and the next day. Like, when I wake up, I'm not like, or even that day, like, I'm not sluggish. You know, we used to, like, laugh and joke about people getting, like, the itis. It's like where you eat and then you get, like, so tired, you can't do anything.
The itis.
You just, like, want to go to sleep.
Yep.
But, like, honestly, since we've changed our lifestyle, I do not feel like that. Like, I really I eat and I get fueled. Like, I'm ready to go and do whatever it is I need to do. I'm not, like, tired or sluggish and want to, like, sit around the house and be lazy or just chill. Like, I really have the energy to go about my day and be productive. Yeah. So it's not anything that I can say that I miss, because a lot of times, whatever it is that you liked, you can get it in a different way.
Yep.
So people always ask, like, how do we get our vitamins? Do we get enough protein? Do we get enough calcium? Do we get, like,
I mean,
I don't know.
All those things that they think you miss because you're not eating meat or dairy, right? And I think it's a misconception that dairy products help with bone density, because they do not. So I was a drill sergeant for 3 years, and they used to check the soldiers' bone density, and it will be reduced over time, right? And when I say that, like, compared to years before and now, the bone density is decreasing. That also has something to do with kids aren't getting out and exercising and doing all those things, but it definitely doesn't do anything to improve your bone density or your bone health. What does is good vegetables like broccoli, cabbage, they all have calcium. They also have protein in them, right? So it's all types of things. And animals do not naturally make protein. The only reason they have protein is because they ate a plant, right? So that's why you get protein from
the animal that you eat.
Exactly.
Yeah. People think, like, oh, if I don't have enough protein, I need to eat more meat. No. That's like, no, don't do that.
Completely the opposite thing, right?
Right. You need to do, like, nuts if you're allergic to nuts, which I know you're allergic to nuts. So, like, you need to do, like, tofu. You do, like, tofu, spinach, all the leafy greens, definitely.
Chickpeas. I mean, it's all types of stuff you can eat, and that's high in protein, calcium, I mean, all the minerals and vitamins that you need.
Acids.
Yeah. Vitamin A, vitamin C, things that'll boost your immunity. So we intake those things. And listen, your body can only intake so much daily. So I know people, you got weightlifters and all these different people. I need all this protein. You need, like, the amino acids. You need the proteins. You need all of these things to help prepare your muscles from when you break them down. So you need all of that. You can't just eat something high in protein and expect your actual body to be healthy. Now that's a big misconception too. Some of the strongest people in the world are plant-based or vegan.
Definitely.
Right, and that is by the numbers. Check it out. Look, some of the world's strongest men, deadlifters, animals. Like you ain't never seen a gorilla just go grab another gorilla and start trying to eat it. They eat plants, right? And they're huge and massive and strong, right? Elephants. I mean, name any animal that's big like that. Yeah. So
definitely just make sure you're eating your leafy greens, and I like to do different colors, like, you know, make sure you add some purples in there and all the different colors, because everything has different vitamins and nutrients that your body needs. So I would say don't just focus on one food group, like just calcium or just protein, because honestly, if you're eating broccoli, like, you're covering both. You're getting calcium and you're getting protein. If you're eating okra, like, you're getting that. If you're eating tofu, you're getting like both. So don't just necessarily focus on, I just want to like bulk up on protein, or I just want to eat a lot of calcium. You want to eat a lot of vegetables so that you get all of your everything that you need. You need vitamin K, like every single vitamin. So make sure you're eating good colors, like yellows.
Yes,
purples.
colors are so important. All the colors, right? All of it.
So especially with the economy the way that it is, some people are not working right now. Even when people were working, like, the biggest question we got asked is being vegan expensive? And honestly, I would say no. The reason I would say no is it's like, it depends on how you do it. If you're eating a lot of like the Beyond Meats and things of that sort, it can get kind of expensive. But honestly, I feel like it may be the same price as regular meat.
It is.
Don't quote me on that because I haven't.
I mean, per pound, it's about the same thing. I mean, if you were to compare it, but that can get expensive.
Exactly. But like, if you're sticking to like fruits and vegetables and things, and you're eating like beans and rice and things of that sort, noodles, like, potatoes. No, it's not that expensive, because like beans aren't that much money, and then you can usually get like 2 meals out of one bag of beans. If you know, lentils are like really, really good for that also. You can make so many different things with like beans, like make them into like patties if you want to do like kind of like a burger. Mushrooms are usually not expensive either. We eat a lot of mushrooms and things.
Avocados, we eat a ton of avocados. And because they make so many in Mexico and they're imported into the United States, it's an abundance now. It used to be where they only made them in parts of California and it will be a shortage. In our lifetime, they have nothing but avocados everywhere. So that's something that's well worth it. Even if it's like $1.20 per avocado, it's better than doing it any type of meat or dairy. And avocados have good fat in them. And our brains are made up of a lot of fat, and that's the type of fats that we need, is good fat. So that's definitely good. And they're high in fiber too. So.
And I think honestly, like, if you look at the brochures that you get from the supermarket, like, a lot of stores do like price match. So if you go to one store and they may have it for a higher price, you can always price match it and they will give it to you for a better price. But usually a lot of produce and, a lot of fruits and vegetables are usually like on a good price, to me at least.
Grocery stores are good at that. I mean, because they get surpluses of things and they have to discount it. So you just gotta take the time, be disciplined. Look who has avocados on sale for this day. Look who has broccoli on sale for this day. Bananas, strawberries. I mean, all these other things, asparagus, peppers. You just gotta be disciplined and look it up and see who has it on sale. Cause some type of local grocery store has it on sale, no question. So it's not expensive.
If you don't go, like, the farmers market, people usually have like so many good things at the farmers market. Like, definitely, if you live near where they have a farmers market, go check out the farmers market. Prices are usually so good there. So it's
natural. It's natural, you know what I mean?
And you're helping out your fellow man who you can actually see, like, the small businesses, like what we're trying to build now is like small businesses. So definitely go out there and support your local farm.
And then we'll do another video. I know I keep pubbing our videos, but we'll do another video on how to clean your vegetables and fruits too, because we normally set them in a sink. We put vinegar or some type of lime or lemon in there and sanitize it naturally. So we'll do a video on how we do that. If you already know how to do that and that's what you normally do, stick with it. That's good. Because you want to get all those excessive pesticides and all those things off there. Because that's what they say. When you eat vegetables and fruits, you get a lot of pesticides. Not if you clean them properly. You'll be good. You can't be 100% safe from anything, right? Yeah. But you can always take the time, the effort, and be disciplined and try to protect yourself from most things. All right. So being the ex dairy guy, like I'm always like did cheese and milk and eggs and stuff like that. They have good, healthy, plant-based, natural replacements for those things. So you have things like oat milk, flax milk, it's made out of flaxseed. Just be careful to check for the thing that says natural flavors on the back. Make sure that they are plant-based or vegan. But those are excellent substitutes in those type of milk.
Soy milk.
And they get you your omegas. I mean, they're just good for you. Soy milk, almond milk. So those things like that. Also, they have a product called Just Egg, and it is a plant-based egg replacement. And I'm gonna tell you, I did a recipe with pancakes that I'm gonna post later. So we did pancakes for breakfast, which you can still do, right? You get a mix, make sure it doesn't have any type of dairy in it already. You make it, or you just do your flour, your baking soda, or your baking powder, stuff like that, and make them. But those two replacements are very good. If you have some questions and you want to know what those replacements are, we'll take some pictures of them or post them in the descriptions and some of the videos so you can check it out. Mm-hmm.
So our last question, and if you guys have any more questions, definitely leave some comments below and we can answer questions on later videos. But for right now, these are the ones we could just kind of think of off the top of our head. But our last question is, was going vegan worth it? I would say 100% it is definitely worth it.
Absolutely. Changed my life, changed my family's life, broadened my perspective of the environment, of the world, not being selfish. It really changed my life for real.
It really has. I definitely think it's worth it. I would definitely recommend any and everybody to do it. My parents were not necessarily, being vegan and things of that sort, but now they are. They're making strides. They're cutting out different things, going plant-based, and then they're transitioning over to going vegan. And they definitely see the benefits of it. They really like it.
For sure.
And I tell any and everybody, everybody who, and I think that's the thing, people are why are vegans always I'm vegan and they're better than you. And it's not that we think we're better than.
No.
It's that, hey, I'm making all these strides to make our world a better place. You guys should make some strides too.
Or you just want to share the good news. When you have something and it helps you physically, emotionally, spiritually, and it helps your environment, wouldn't you want to share it?
And you want everybody to be healthy. I want all my friends and family to live long lives and healthy lives with me. Don't just live a long life. You want to be healthy because what benefit is it if you're living this long life but you're always sick, you're taking all these medications, you're not living your best life. It's pointless. Well, not pointless, but you want to get something more out of it than just a long life. You want to be healthy.
And life expectancy is a big thing in communities where I came from. Life expectancy, you might live to maybe be 60, and that's ridiculous. You want to live a good life. And then we're not saying think about it. You want to live the best life you can and the highest amount of joy and enjoy it in those times, right? So you don't want to be 30 like I was, going to a dialysis clinic trying to get seen for kidney disease. Why? You know what I mean? You don't want to have hypertension that's 20-something, cancer, all these other things that are promoted by dairy and meats. Our bodies were not designed to consume that. So come on, y'all. It's worth it.
We want a healthy planet for our kids. We have children, so that's something that we think about. We don't want our kids living in a world where all this global warming is happening and all these bad things are going on because of the meat and dairy industry.
Yeah.
We want our kids to be able to live their best life, go outside and have clean air and things of that sort. And we don't want the animals hurt. Why should an animal have to die just for my satisfaction?
Right.
That's not right. So
don't end up like the WALL-E, that Disney's movie WALL-E, and they all on that cruise ship and they done got crazy big, and they living from the online and getting everything brought to them. And our society, everything is simplified now. Like, it's so easy to access stuff. You can order food on your computer, on your phone, come straight to your front door. You don't have to do no moving or anything like that. But we don't want to be individuals like that. We still want to be able to come, get good sunlight, exercise, do all those things, experience our world and our environment for what it is, and don't, come in and be like a turtle in your shell. You know what I mean? You want to get out. So experience those things, live a healthy life. It's definitely worth it to go plant-based or vegan. If y'all have any questions, let us know. Like, comment, subscribe. We love y'all. Deuces.
Deuces.